on our homes, our neighborhoods, and our shared infrastructure. But it is at these times where we must focus on what truly matters, and that is the well-being of our constituents. We must work hand in hand with local authorities, relief organizations, and each other to ensure a swift and effective response to the damages that we face. And I'm happy to stand here with all of these leaders to show how we are coming together to support our communities that need us right now. And again, we are in it for the long haul. I do want to also thank every volunteer and person who has been on the ground helping neighbors, friends, and strangers with their situations. And I want to reiterate that we must stand united for our community's challenges. Together, we will get through this and become a stronger, more resilient community. I truly believe that. And with that, I want to introduce our Director of San Diego County Emergency Office Emergency Services, Jeff Tony.
Thank you, Supervisor Montgomery Stepp. Monday's storm was truly unprecedented, and we're not used to flooding to this extent in San Diego County. Our first responders did a tremendous job conducting hundreds of swiftwater rescues and evacuations. Currently, our County Operations Center is activated and working at a very high level with dozens of partner agencies on the response and also the recovery. And with any response, we take a whole community approach. It takes all of us, our first responders, our government agencies, nonprofit partners, volunteers, and neighbors helping neighbors. We continue to assess the damage, and we encourage all residents with damage to fill out our damage assessment survey. This data will be used to determine information about overall impacts and will be shared with the Governor's Office of Emergency Services to maximize the region's ability for eligibility for state and federal assistance. Please visit alertsandiego.org and click on the Recovery tab to enter a survey. Our local assistance center that will be opening at the Spring Valley Library is a huge part of the healing process. We wanted to physically bring agencies and resources directly to the community. We will have partners including the Red Cross, 211, Department of Public Works, Health and Human Services, the County Assessor Recorder, the DMV, Department of Insurance, Team Rubicon, and many, many other partner organizations. Additionally, there is rain in the forecast for next week. If you live in a flood-prone area, it's important to be prepared. There are sandbag locations all throughout the county that you can find at alertsandiego.org under the Preparedness tab. Please stay informed by registering with Alert San Diego and download the SD emergency application on your smartphone for future storm updates. We all know that San Diegans are suffering, and we want you to know that there are literally hundreds of people working behind the scenes for you to support you. We'll bounce back, and we'll do it together. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our good partner and friend, Meg Storr with 211.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairwoman Vargas, and to our Supervisor Montgomery Stepp, and to all of our public safety partners here today. As you know, 211 San Diego is the region's primary source for community health and disaster services, and we're very grateful for our partners here today who have entrusted us in this role. During the recent weather incidents that we've had, our role is no different, and in fact, it's intensified. On Monday night, our agents over at 211 San Diego helped about 2,968 clients get connected to inclement weather shelters. Then on Tuesday, 211, through our great partnership with the County Office of Emergency Services, activated 211 to respond to storm recovery needs and concerns from our residents. To date, we fielded during those times thousands of calls from San Diegans who are looking for essential and immediate services and referrals. It's no doubt that most people are reaching out to us about the storm, have inquired about support for damages to their homes and their vehicles. And as it is with all weather-related crises, we have fielded a higher number of calls from people seeking shelter. You know, key referrals that we've been making continue to be with our partners with American Red Cross, and Sean will talk about that in a minute, for shelters, voluntary damage survey that was spoken about by Jeff over here at OES, and for sandbag locations. And as mentioned, with more stormy weather approaching, we do expect the need to rise again, and 211 San Diego continues to stand vigilant and ready to help our residents. People can reach out to us by just dialing 211. We're available 24/7, multiple languages, and ready at hand in English and Spanish. And they can also go to our website at 211sandiego.org. On our website, on the homepage, we encourage all of our residents and individuals and business owners to fill out the survey so we can accurately assess damages, so we can raise dollars to help those in need. As mentioned by the chairwoman, we stand vigilant to connect people to recovery and resources. That's what 211 is here for. And we want to encourage everyone to use our resources, but also to listen to the caution that's being put forth by our emergency partners here, and to use us if you need us. And again, I want to thank the chairwoman and the supervisor and Office of Emergency Services for your leadership. And with that, I'd like to introduce Mark Stewart, President and CEO of the San Diego Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Vargas, for your leadership, and as well to Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp. Good afternoon. While we're all horrified by the damage caused by this week's 100-year flood, San Diego is a caring and loving community. In times of great need, when neighbors and fellow residents are left without homes, clothing, and food, we all need to step up and do whatever we can to help. We urge all San Diegans to donate and do so quickly so we can get funds to nonprofit organizations helping those with urgent needs. San Diego Foundation has launched the San Diego Flood Response Fund to rapidly deploy flexible resources into the community to support organizations responding to this week's unprecedented flooding in San Diego County. Donations can be made online at sdfoundation.org/fund flood response. The fund will receive donations and make emergency grants to nonprofit organizations serving throughout disaster response and relief. And I'm proud to say San Diego Foundation will match all donations dollar for dollar up to $100,000. And we've already received significant outreach with hundreds of gifts, and the fund total is now at least $220,000. In addition, 100% of donations to the Flood Response Fund will go towards nonprofits helping San Diegans impacted by the flood. While the fund does not give directly to individuals or families, it will support the nonprofit organizations that serve individuals and families who've suffered significantly from stormwater and flood damage. Again, we urge all San Diegans to donate at sdfoundation.org/flood response. Thank you. And I'm now pleased to introduce my good colleague, Sean Mahoney, Regional CEO of the American Red Cross.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Chairwoman and Supervisor. The Red Cross was prepared well in advance for this disaster. We have hundreds of shelter agreements and pre-staged disaster supplies across the county at all times. We immediately coordinated with the county and local government to respond quickly and effectively. The Red Cross and partners stood up 3 shelters on Monday night for those impacted by storms and flooding. Bostonia Recreation Center in El Cajon had a capacity of 121. No clients came to that shelter on Monday night, and on Tuesday night there were 2 clients. It was closed on Wednesday in consultation with the county after individual needs were met. There was a partner-run shelter at Coronado Community Center that was supported with Red Cross supplies. It was closed after client needs were met. Lincoln High School had and still has the largest shelter population. We're grateful to the San Diego Unified School District and Lincoln High School for opening this as a shelter location for the community. The San Diego Humane Society has been on site providing sheltering for pets. The Red Cross staff has been there around the clock. The shelter has a capacity of 270, and the shelter population has ranged from 39 to the 50s since this started, so it has additional capacity. This shelter remains open and staffed by Red Cross responders. At Red Cross shelters, Red Cross volunteers and partners provide a safe place to stay, meals, snacks, hydration, disaster health services, and emotional support. Red Cross shelters are open to everyone, and all disaster assistance is free. Anyone affected by the storms is encouraged to stop by the Lincoln High School to access services whether or not they're staying at the shelter. At this time, we have physical items needed to support our response effort, and those type of things that might be donated are a logistical challenge for us. So we're not accepting those at the moment. We ask people to donate financially if they can. Trained Red Cross volunteers and staff remain on call around the clock and are ready to provide sheltering, feeding, and more. We plan to begin damage assessment of homes this weekend to facilitate casework and connection to impacted people to resources in the community. The Red Cross will continue to work closely with government, other nonprofits, and emergency management partners during the ongoing response. Now I'd like to introduce Derek Gady, County Public Works Director. Derek.
Good afternoon. We know this is a very difficult time for many people in our community, and I want you to know that your health and safety are our top priority. Our Public Works crews have been in our community for days preparing and responding to the impacts of the storm in the unincorporated area. And we've made significant progress cleaning up our storm debris on our public roads to ensure their safety and accessibility, and I'm pleased to say that all county roads are open. Unfortunately, this unprecedented storm did damage many homes and businesses, and this is where our flood debris collection program can help. So as part of our county's recovery plan for the unincorporated area, we will collect damaged private property items right from our public road right-of-way and dispose them. We're working with a contractor who will manage this large program, and they will be starting on Monday. We will share additional information very soon through our Emergency Operations Center various channels. In addition, we're also coordinating with other cities as they develop and implement their flood damage debris collection programs. To support residents now on this, our Public Works crews are currently helping private property owners remove and dispose of these items placed in the public right-of-way. The County Public Works team will continue to be out in the community to support the recovery efforts. So thank you, and I will turn it back over to Chairwoman Vargas.
Thank you. Es importante mencionar a nuestras comunidades, ¿verdad? Que muchísimas gracias a todas las personas que están aquí. Estamos trabajando directamente con la supervisora Monica Montgomery Stepp porque estamos muy interesados en que las comunidades más impactadas y afectadas tengan acceso a los recursos que necesitan, porque sabemos que estas lluvias fueron devastadoras. La tormenta de esta semana ha dejado a cientos de familias de San Diego sin hogares y en muchos casos con autos inundados y en algunos casos sin recursos básicos como agua limpia. Entonces es muy importante para nosotros comunicar a las comunidades, ¿verdad?, que están en esta comunidad, no solamente en la ciudad de San Diego, Spring Valley, hubo en la mesa, el cajón, en lugares donde no están incorporados varios impactos. Entonces, para mí es muy importante enfocarnos en ayudarnos unos a otros. Yo tenía previsto hacer el discurso del estado del condado la semana que entra, lo vamos a posponer, ya que vamos a enfocarnos en un día de servicio. Es importante que nosotros como sandeguinos hagamos lo que hacemos mejor, que es ayudarnos unos a otros. Como ustedes escucharon, hoy tenemos la participación de las diferentes organizaciones que ayudan directamente con estas iniciativas para que las personas se puedan estar en una situación mejor, ¿verdad? Estuvo con nosotros la Fundación de San Diego, va a tener recursos y le está pidiendo a las personas que por favor done a San Diego Foundation para que esos recursos puedan llegar a las comunidades que más los necesitan. Ellos van a trabajar directamente con las ONGs en la comunidad para poder intervenir y asegurarse que puedan ayudar. Empezaron el fondo con $100,000, ya llevan más de $200,000, así que les pedimos a los sandeguinos que por favor vayan a San Diego Foundation y donen para este fondo específico. Como ustedes saben, 211 es el número que tienen que hablar para que les puedan ayudar. Se hablan varios idiomas, inclusive el español, para poderlos ayudarles en la coordinación de la recuperación de su situación en la que se encuentren. Además, muy agradecido con la Cruz Roja, ya que ha habido más de 3 albergues para ayudar a las comunidades. Es importantísimo para nosotros que la gente tenga lo que necesita. Vamos a seguir haciendo todo lo posible. Muy agradecida con todos los bomberos, todos los policías, la gente de las oficinas de emergencia de aquí el condado de San Diego, que están haciendo todo lo posible para que la gente pueda tener acceso a sus comunidades. La última cosa es que estamos trabajando con SANDAG y con MTS para aquellas personas que no tienen acceso a sus automóviles que están inundados, poder ayudarles con transporte, porque sabemos que es muy importante. Más información se les va a presentar. Y por último, estamos trabajando con la oficina del comisionado Ricardo Lara para encargarnos de que aquellas personas que tienen acceso a su seguro puedan que les llegue sus dineros que necesitan para poder resolver no solamente el agua que está en las casas, pero también los carros que están inundados. Así que con eso, again, thank you so much to all of our colleagues for being here. This is really, truly a reflection of who we are as San Diegans. We are in direct contact with council members and city managers, and we're working around the clock to make sure that people have the resources that they need. There's nothing more important than making sure that everyone is safe and healthy in our county. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Chairwoman Vargas, is the county providing any funding for any of this, any of the food or any of this, or just all donations?
Well, most of the donations that have taken place are being done through Red Cross and foundation. A lot of the donations that they receive. What we have done is we're making sure that access to the resources that are available from the county, we're going to make sure that people have them. So for instance, the Live Well bus is going to be at Spring Valley, and there you're going to be able to have access to EBT. Let's say you lost your card. You're going to be able to get, like, if you lost your driver's license or any other resources. So that's way.
Were those resources available before the storm?
Absolutely, but imagine if you're a storm.
Please answer my question. Is the county providing any funding for the
At
people
this
that are
time,
victims of the storm, or just providing
well,
what it's always provided?
it's all of everything that we are providing is part of the county funding, right? From a general fund.
Extra funding.
We are going to be working on recovery. We're going to go because
Will you be
well,
working on recovery?
okay. So we are.
Well, the problem is, I'm very sorry, but the problem is all I'm hearing is we're going to be working on
Well,
something.
so we
We're
declared-
looking for donations, but is the
We
county
declared a state of
committing money?
emergency.
Are they committing hotel?
All right. So I'm going to answer your question. If you give me a minute, I'm going to answer your question.
Take more than a minute.
Okay. What's the next question?
So we're out there, we're talking to these folks, they're struggling pretty mightily. They've lost all their possessions, sometimes 2 cars.
Yes.
They have kids. They have no real money left to speak of. Is the county going to provide cash infusions to these people in these emergency bases?
Well, as you know, we have to have a special meeting to be able to do that work, to be able to have our next board meeting. Right now, what we did, which is the first step, we declared this an emergency. By declaring an emergency, we now are able to access funding from FEMA, from the federal government, and from the state governor. We're working directly with the governor to figure out what other dollars are available so we can infuse those dollars back into the community. As we're following this process, and we are very, very much committed to figuring out how else we're going to be resolving this recovery, we have partnered with those organizations that can do that immediately right now. And so I wish I could tell you that right now we can, address with direct funding, but what we're doing is we're making sure that those folks that can provide that funding are doing it now.
Will there be any hotel vouchers for any of these folks?
We have provided some hotel vouchers, but I don't have the number in front of you. I don't have that number for you, but I can get back to you.
The folks that we're seeing on the daily are in the most dire of straits that we've seen really in San Diego County folks, most of which are living paycheck to paycheck and had
Exactly.
very little before this storm. We are hearing this over and over that we desperately need help, and direct funding is what they're asking for
Yes.
because they've got to manage the day-to-day. Is there a time frame that they might be able to see some of this direct funding if it's coming?
That is what we're working on, and we're going to continue to fight to get additional resources from the federal government and the state government. I will tell you that I know, for instance, organizations like the Chicano Federation, Red Cross, so many of them already are providing those vouchers, and they are providing support. We are direct partners with them, but I think what we need to remember is this is an emergency. We have declared that emergency so that those funds can come to our communities. And I think what we really need to be frustrated about is that these communities have been underinvested in for decades. And so the challenges that we're seeing right now are as a result of the fact that for years, government wasn't investing in those communities. And so here we are now in a dire situation, and we need to make sure that we partner with our community, leaders who are able to get those resources to them now.
For the folks that are watching currently, what would you tell them to do? What's their next step? Because they have no real plan as to what to do next.
I think there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, I would contact 211. 211 is able to direct folks to services that they need right now. As you heard directly from them, they are able to guide you to access to recovery resources, number one. Number two, go to the website to fill out the survey so that we know exactly what those damages are so we can go out and get additional dollars, not only for residents, but for businesses. And number three, I think reach out to your local nonprofit organizations because we're going to continue to partner with them. And like I said, the county will be opening up a shelter in Spring Valley from Sunday to Monday, and then we're going to bring all these resources to the community so that they can get immediate help and assistance.
Do you feel like the county is prepared for this? Of all the emergency plans that the county has put in place, do you feel like the county is really responding and was ready for this?
Well, it's a natural disaster. Nobody has, a magic ball to know. We did, I think, our OAS folks have been on the ground. I'm not sure if you want to share any additional information, but I think that they hit the ground running on day one. They are in constant contact with the 18 cities, ensuring that they have access and that we're getting the information that they need. If you talk to anybody in Benita, which is an unincorporated area in my district, they will tell you that immediately, the folks were out there making sure that the debris was out and the people were able to be taken care of. So I think my response to that, they are as prepared as you can be without not knowing that a natural disaster is coming. But I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Thank you, Chairwoman. If you asked that we were prepared, absolutely, I say we're prepared. We've got plans for everything: earthquake, fire, flood. We're used to a lot of fires. Flooding, it's rare. But as you see from this map right here, you see the cluster of damage surveys that we've had so far. You had a cell of rain that sat there for 2 hours dumping 2 inches. We have flood control gauges all throughout the county. We hit not only 100-year storms, 500-year storms, a couple of those gauges. So that's overwhelming. But we were ready. We immediately activated the Emergency Operations Center, brought in our partners. And it's frustrating to know, FEMA, I get this question a lot. FEMA, where's FEMA? And it's a process, unfortunately. We're frustrated. We want the help now. But it's a process. That's why we're collecting these damages, so we can prove our case not only to the state, but to FEMA that we need it localized. We need it here. Often they look at state thresholds. We have huge state, but this is localized, very localized. And if FEMA's #1 strategic priority is equity, and they're rolling this out, now's the time. Help us with that message, please.
When the folks ask us, is help going to come? What is the answer?
So right now, when we're waiting for a response, these are our stopgap partners, right? Our local assistance center. Please go there in person. Everybody's going to be there. Nonprofits, government agencies. So we'll do what we can with the resources present day, and we'll keep fighting.
That's what we're here. All right. Yes.
You say go with them, but a lot of those people, they don't have how to move. They can't. So my question is, why instead of they going, why we don't go?
Well, we're doing both, right? So first we have to have a localized center, and that's why we're having it in Spring Valley, so that is in our unincorporated area. Each of the cities have their own responses, and so they work directly with OAS. We are trying to figure out what else we can send. I think this initial, discussion is really to present that these are the resources that are available for our community. That's the conversation with MTS and SANDAG. I know that a lot of people can't get to work, they can't get to food, so we're trying to figure out what else could we do. Now, it's very important that people share with us what they need so that we're able to create that inventory and be able to respond to them as well. But I agree with you. We need to meet people where they're at, and that is exactly what we're going to do by going into Spring Valley, which is part of the unincorporated area that was hit the hardest in the areas that we represent.
¿Puede repetir
Sí, claro que sí. Es importante enfatizar que tenemos entendido que hay mucha gente que está impactada directamente porque los recursos no los están teniendo inmediatamente, ¿verdad? Pero es importante que sepan que estas organizaciones que están aquí pueden ayudarles. 211, Red Cross, ellos los pueden dirigir a donde tienen que ir. El condado de San Diego va a tener este centro empezando del domingo al miércoles de la semana que entra, en donde va a haber muchas organizaciones del gobierno que van a poder ayudarles. ¿Es suficiente? No es suficiente, pero vamos a seguir trabajando, inclusive con MTS y con SANDAG, para que podamos ayudarles con transporte igualmente. Ajá, es la Spring Valley Library, la librería en Spring Valley. Vamos a tener más información y la vamos a poner en el Condado de San Diego en la página web para mandárselas a las personas. Y como comentaban, es importante que las personas se apunten a la información que llega del Condado de San Diego porque así inmediatamente les llega. Okay? Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question, please? With NBC, Telemundo, please.
Yes, just respectfully.
I'm sorry.
Please go ahead.
How does that start? What I'd like to know is, you mentioned that there would be a dumpster available. Why are you taking dumpsters to the people's homes where they need them? Most of these people have lost their cars as well, or vehicles for transport. How are they going to get their things to you?
Yeah, very good question. So, two dumpster sites. One is within the city of San Diego. I am no longer in control of operations there. I do believe they will have curbside pickup there. I don't have the details of that. I only spoke to what I know from working directly with the Council District 4 office and the staffers that are there. We're doing everything we can. We also do have volunteers that are working with community members that are helping to be able to transport that type of debris as well. And so we are doing whatever we can do with the rapid response. It doesn't require as much operational assistance at this time. The same thing with Spring Valley. My office, we've been putting out alerts. We are available by phone. We're available by email. We are working directly via text and everything else with volunteers and getting people who are able right now to help those who may not be. I said in my statements that this was a long-term recovery. I understand how much people are hurting. I am trying to do the best that I can with what I have currently at my disposal, but I am committed to our communities, and I will do everything that I can to make sure that people get what they need.
And just to add to that, we actually had a request for dumpsters from the community. So with that, if there's no other questions, we appreciate you being here. More importantly, I want to thank all of you because all of you are able to get this information to our communities who really need it the most. And you are really prepared to share that information. So appreciate you coming here today. And we'll continue to stay in contact because right now, more than ever, San Diegans need to stick together to help each other. This was unprecedented, but we were ready to do what we can to help folks. So muchísimas gracias y les seguiremos dando información. Gracias. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you for Thank you. I'm going to follow up with you. First person, they can help you. And then we'll find out. So we